Picking my race day shoe for the Chicago Marathon in 2025 has actually been one of the hardest decisions I've had to make. Now, over the last few years, I've been pretty consistent in the running shoes that I've worn in the marathons that I've done. I've been using the Adidas Pro 3. I actually used to use like Vapor Alpha Fly 1. I've ran, I think, did I run a marathon in Alpha Fly 2? Anyway, SC Elite version 4. They're sort of shoes that I've sort of stuck to because I know them. But this year, because I'm actually going to be trying to run a little bit faster at the Chicago Marathon, I'll be trying to hunt out a shoe that works for me. Now, because New Balance changed the SC Elite shoe so much and Adidas changed the Pro shoe so much, it really has left me with a real problem. So in this video, I'm going to go through my options, and I hope at the end of it, I am going to name the shoe that I'm probably going to take to Chicago. Now, just a spoiler, I have got form here, okay? I did make a video just before London a few years back that I was going to run this, and then I got basically a heat spot in the last run I did in the shoes, and I changed my mind completely on race day. So you've all been warned. But I am going to tell you at the end of this video, hand on heart, sitting here literally a couple of weeks out from race day, what shoe I'm going to be putting on for that Chicago Marathon 2025. Okay, so I think it's worth talking firstly about what I'm looking for in this race day shoe. Firstly, I'm looking for a shoe that's not going to give me any blisters. Secondly, I want a shoe that's not going to be wildly unstable when I get to the sort of end of the marathon, when my form goes out of the window and I'm basically shuffling along. I also want a shoe that feels marathon-y. I want a shoe that gives me really good feelings off the start line. Something that's got a little bit more foam under the forefoot, and I just feel like I can bounce along. It's hard to explain, but I have like a sort of rhythm that I like to find when I'm in that marathon goal pace. And there's certain shoes that give me that, and I really appreciate that when I get that feeling from them. So I want a shoe that gives me that and gives me the confidence to run like that. And lastly, I want a shoe that can hold that pace and look after me in that marathon. It's a partnership between me and the shoe. So I want that shoe to look after me in the marathon as well. So like I said, the problem I've had is that the SC Elite changed wildly this year. So that sort of kind of sorted that. I could have gone and got version 4 and got a new pair of them. And I was contemplating getting a pair of these, because you can go over to sportshoes.com and you can pick up a pair. These are the ones I wore at the Yorkshire Marathon. Did I run? No, a different pair, but I ran these at the Yorkshire Marathon and they were absolutely brilliant. Stable, forgiving, good feedback. I mean, it absolutely chucked it down in the Yorkshire Marathon, and these things were absolutely amazing. If you're somebody who's mildly pronates or needs a more stable carbon plated running shoe, someone who's running maybe like around that 4-hour mark or just under or just over, whatever, this is a brilliant shoe. It really is, for anybody who's like an everyday runner, who's not like, 3.5 hours, 3:20, even sub 3. This is a shoe that will look after you in the marathon. And that's why I've run them in so many marathons. But anyway, they changed this so significantly with version 5 looking like this. And the problem with version 5 is it's a little bit skinny in the heel, and that gave me major concerns taking it into a marathon, because my form goes to absolute, basically, well, shit at the end of the race. And I'm not sure this could cope with it. Now, don't get me wrong, I've worn these on a 21 mile long run with some of that easy, terrible pace in there, and it actually handled it quite well. So I really did seriously consider using this for the Chicago Marathon, if I'm honest. But I put it to one side. This at the moment is my backup shoe. But I put this to one side. This at the moment is my reserve shoe. This is the one I think I'm gonna pull out. I'll probably get a new pair if, and that's a big if, I do change my mind. But sitting here today, I'm not gonna change my mind. But if I change my mind, this is the shoe that I'm going to switch focus to, okay? Despite the issues in the heel. And the only reason I'm going to switch to this shoe is because I did that 21 mile training run in this shoe, and I had no issues with it in terms of heat spots or comfort or anything like that. So this currently is my backup shoe if my choice that I'm going to tell you about at the end of this video changes at all. Now, I absolutely lost my mind during this marathon training, and because of the issues I've had with the shoes, and I will come on to the Edge, by the way. All of you are probably already wondering why he's not talking about the Edge, but I will come on to it. But I lost my mind so much, I actually contemplated these. Yeah, that's how much I lost my mind. Now, if anybody remembers, the Alpha Fly 3 gave me a wicked blister on the arch here, right? But I was so worried, so paranoid about what race day shoe to wear. I was going to take these and switch out the insole. But I'm actually happy that I haven't gone here, okay? There's nothing wrong with this shoe. I know some of you guys really like this, but I'm actually not going to be entertaining the Alphafly 3 because it gives me that blister on the arch. Now, one other shoe that's a little bit out there I did consider is the Prime X3. Now, this is a shoe that I've used on a lot of my long runs. I've used this a hell of a lot in marathon training. I really like this shoe for those long training runs. Done a couple of 21-mile runs in this shoe as well, and it's been absolutely brilliant. A couple of 18 milers in here, and it's soaked up everything that it's needed to do. It really has done well, in fairness to it, and despite on paper this being like so unsuitable for me in terms of stability and all that kind of stuff, I've really enjoyed using this on my marathon training. I must give it credit. The only thing that lets this thing down is its upper. This is awful to lace up. These laces on this shoe are terrible, Adidas. You really need to sort this out. Like, I had to stop, what was it, I did one the other day in this shoe, and I had to relace this, I think, twice to get the lacing right on it. And once I got it right, it was absolutely fine. But that is its sort of Achilles heel, this shoe, is the lacing and the upper fit. That's the one thing they need to sort out. But no, we're not going to be taking this to Chicago. It was close, yeah. It was between this and the SC Elite as my backup shoe, but the SC Elite's going to be the backup shoe. Now, because I'm a pro athlete, I did consider these. But then I realised that I'm not a pro athlete, and I thought, actually, Fordy, that's a stupid idea. So no, I won't be taking the Ray, although I really like the Ray. I just won't be taking it because it's just so wildly unstable for me personally. This foam, it's just not going to cut it at mile 23 when I'm basically shuffling along. Sticking with AE6, the Ugiri, which I'm a huge fan of and I've been pushing on this channel. I think this is a brilliant shoe for everyday runners. Along the same lines as the SC Elite version 4, I think this is a great marathon day shoe for anybody who's I say, run that sort of over 4 hours. You want something that's going to look after you when you're out there. The heel is quite skinny again, but it's nice and firm, so in terms of stability, it's going to look after you. You still have a layer of Flight Firm Turbo Plus in here, so it does give you that nice feel underfoot. You do have a plate in here as well. It's a shoe that fits really well, feels really nice on foot. You can also pick up the pace, but it also holds pace really well. This is a good shoe for everyday runners. It's not for me. I don't feel like I can run my best marathon in this shoe, and because I'm going to Chicago to try and put some form of effort in, that's why I'm not taking the Ugiri, but this is a very good shoe for everyday runners. Still on the ASICS train, we've got the Metaspeed Sky. This was one that I actually thought about, but because of the issues with the edge, I stayed away from it. The Sky is actually a shoe, if I had a little bit more time and I wasn't making these decisions this late, this is actually a shoe that I would like to have taken on a 16-mile goal pace run to see how it compared to the edge because of the issue I had with the edge. I'll come on to that next. But I would have liked to have tried this on a 16-mile goal run, but I basically have run out of time because this could have worked. And I'll come on to the problems with the edge, but I'm wondering whether this could have worked for me. So this is a shoe I think I'm going to use in my spring marathon training block on my sort of first goal pace 16-mile run that I'll have in that block. I think I'm going to try this on there and see how I get on with it. That's one shoe that I'm sort of putting on ice for now. So yes, the Metaspeed Sky is not one I'm taking with me to Chicago, but it's one that I could potentially use going further down the road. So we'll keep an eye on this one. I'll come back to you on that, but this is not making the trip to Chicago. Side note, I also considered the Mega Blast. Yeah, honestly, I was losing my mind so much after the issues I had. We're coming next to that. But I actually seriously considered taking the Mega Blast as well. But then I realised, no, I want something, again, with that carbon plate, with a load of foam underfoot that feels marathon-y, feels light, feels fast, and just makes me feel like an absolute hero on race day. There's nothing wrong with the Mega Blast, but this is the sort of really dialed down, we're just going to get round shoe. So that's just a stupid idea. So I quickly forgot about the Mega Blast. Okay, so the issues with the edge. Now, I've been saying it for ages on this channel. This is the shoe that I'm most likely going to be taking to Chicago. This is the shoe that I've been using in training for some of those goal pace runs. I've been using this on the sort of midweek goal pace run I've been doing and all that kind of stuff. I've really been trying to work this into the rotation and use this as much as possible. I've used this in a race as well. But I did a 16-mile goal run down in Southend at 7:45 per mile. It was actually quicker than that. And the issue I had with this shoe is that I've got the old heat spot again. Got a blister here, people. It sort of cropped up at mile 13, mile 12, and it got progressively worse. And I think that's a lot to do with the way the plate scoops down and the way I'm running in it. I'm trying to grab on here with my sort of toes, and I'm sort of shifting about a bit in the shoe. I think that's what causes the issue. I've done some gait analysis It's on this channel, go and see it. You can see where I do get a heat spot. For whatever reason, the setup of the shoe, and that was the problem with the previous version. As I said in that video, I said, oh, I'm going to take the Edge, and then I changed my mind. But it's the same deal here, and it wasn't until I did that 16-mile goal pace run, and that's why you do those runs, to test the equipment and to find out about these shoes. It wasn't until that run that I got that sensation out of the shoe, and I'm not prepared to risk that on race day, and that's why this shoe is not coming to Chicago. I really like the shoe. I think half marathon, it's okay. There's probably some faster shoes I've got, but it is a shoe that will work for many of you. But for me, unfortunately, I'm just getting that heat spot again. And it could be socks, it could be lacy, it could be anything. But again, I don't want to chance it. Why do I want to chance that when I've got so much riding on Chicago? So no, this is not going to be making the trip. So there's only one choice, people. Do you know what it is? Yep, the Adidas Pro 4. So we made some videos about the Pro 4, and I've said, actually, we've made quite a few videos about the Pro 4, and some of them have been like all the issues that people have had with the shoe and all the troubles that I've had with it. I've been quite open and transparent as always on this channel. I had major issues with it. It gave me a whopping great big blister, much like the Edge, under the forefoot, and I was like, oh shit, this doesn't work. I think it's to do with the new rocker in it, the toe spring, if you see how far back they pushed that and all that sort of stuff. I think in a way I'm a little bit between sizes as well. This is a US 10.5, so I think I'm a little bit between sizes as well versus Pro 3, which fit me like a glove. It was a hard choice, but what I did with the green version, I don't know if you've seen that video, I actually ripped out the insole and I put a new one in. And I've done that here, and I've also changed the lacing, and I've also changed my socks. I've actually gone for a slightly thicker sock. I've gone for a twin skin sock. I think they're made by Hilly or whatever it was. And it was a conversation I had with Simon. We was running along, again, on a goal-paced marathon run, and we was just chatting about stuff. And he was talking about it because he's running the Pro 4, and we was chatting about it, and he was like, why don't you try this, try that? So I got the sock, I did a marathon knot on the shoe, changed the insole, and I took them along to the Great North Run. And now hopefully you've seen that video, but in that video I ran 1:35. I was really going for it over the half marathon distance. I actually probably could have run faster, but it was right up and downhill as well, so it wasn't like sweet tarmac. And the shoe was brilliant. The shoe performed well. I had no heat spots, no rubbing, no issues whatsoever, which is why I think sitting here today, this shoe is going to be getting on that plane and coming with me to Chicago. Now you might say to me, Fordy, what about the Saucony Northern Pro 4? Good shout, I ran them at the Berlin Marathon, no problem at all. And I was thinking about that. But again, that doesn't feel a sort of super shoe as the Pro 4. I'm happy to put up with some of the changes I've had to make with this shoe to get that feeling that I get from the Pro 4, that sort of bouncing, loping sensation. Anybody who's ever ridden a horse or knows about horses, you will understand that sort of rhythm that you can get from loping along. That's the sort of feeling I get with the Pro 4, and that's why I've taken the decision to make the changes that I have to the shoe and take it along to the Chicago Marathon. So there we go, team. That's the shoe, and it's going to be this shoe in this colourway unless Adidas decide to send me a new pair, which would be really nice of them. But because I've run these at the Great North Run, and because I know they work with the socks that I've got now and the insole and all that sort of stuff, that's the shoe I'm going to be taking sitting here today to the Chicago Marathon. So wish me luck. Let me know in the comments, have I made the right decision? I don't know. No, I have. I think that's the thing. I took it, as I said to you, I took it to the limit-ish at the Great North Run, and that was key for me. And that's why, to be honest with you, I pushed at the Great North Run. It wasn't to run a fast half marathon. It was actually to test the shoe under pressure, and that was 7:12 per mile. I don't know what that is in kilometres, but yeah, 1:35 half marathon. So I'm going to be running a bit slower than that. Not a hell of a lot, but a little bit slower than that in the marathon distance. So hopefully the shoe, looks after me and gets me round, because that's ultimately what I'm looking for. Right, guys, hopefully this video was useful. If it was, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 22 million subscribers. If you want to buy any of those shoes, you can get 15% off of them if you're a 40 Runs Running Club affiliated member. Just go over to 40runs.com and join. It's 20 odd quid. And then you go over to sportshoes.com and you get your 15% off running shoes over there. So it's well worth doing. You're going to save a hell of a lot of money. But that's it from me, guys. I shall catch you all later.